All right, what is up everybody? Welcome back to today's Tackle Talk. Now, in today's video, I want to discuss a jig head design that is probably the most money-winning design out there for jigs as far as tournament fishing goes. It probably is also the jig that's responsible for catching the highest percentage of big bass, and that being your football head jig. Now, this is a fantastic option all times of the year, and I think you have to have it tied on because you can go out and fish brush piles with it. You can go fish rocky points with it, your pea gravel stuff, shell bars, sand. You could fish it all very, very effectively as long as it's clean, hard structure with a football head. Now, the football heads that I like to use, I can't tell you the last time that I've gone to a store and bought a packaged football head, like to where it's the head, the skirt, everything. You just take it out of the package, trim it up and go. I can't tell you the last time I've bought one like that because what I've started doing is putting my own together. I don't pour my own jig heads, anything like that, but what I do is I go on Tackle Warehouse, and this is my favorite head design that I have found. It is the Boss football head, and it's the standard wire version, not the heavy wire, so just the standard Boss football head. The reason that I like this head design so much is because it comes with a great hook in it. You need a light wire hook in a football head. You don't want to have a super heavy hook because you're making long casts with this thing, and if he's 50 feet away from you or 60 feet away from you out in 20 foot of water, you got to be able to pick up that much slack and put enough pressure to drive this hook through. So I don't want a very big hook in my football heads. I think you lose a lot of fish on football head jigs due to your hook diameter being too big. Now, with that said, the other thing that I really like about this head is the weed guard. It's very, very soft, but it doesn't stick way out past to where you got to trim it down. I don't even trim this one down. It's perfect. It just barely touches the hook point, which is what you want in a weed guard. So that is the head design that I like to use, and it's just a cost-effective way, is what I was getting at a little earlier here. The reason I don't buy them off the shelf is because this is very cost-effective, to where you can go buy a pack of 4 of these for $6 and some skirting material for $6. That's only $12, and you can put 4 jigs together, whereas it would cost you $12 to buy 2 packaged jigs. So a very, very cost-effective way to make a bunch of jigs, because you guys know you break off football heads, they get snagged. With that said, as far as the colors go of the skirting material, keep it simple. Green pumpkin, another really good color for a football jig is PB&J, just brown in a little bit of a purple accent, and then black and blue. Those are really the only 3 colors I use. I'll dye some of my trailer craws or whatever. I'll doctor them up with some chartreuse or something like that. But I keep it very, very simple. Fantastic, fantastic way to catch a lot of fish. The other thing that I will say, I totally forgot to mention, the reason you also want a lighter wire football head hook is because if you're fishing this out where there are smallmouth, you guys know they got a hard bony or just a hard meaty bony mouth, and it's hard to get penetration with a hook. If you throw a beefy hook, that smallmouth is going to throw that jig a bunch. I had my heart broken so many times fishing the wrong style of football jig for smallmouth. You guys know they're Houdinis when it comes to jumping off and throwing baits, but it's even worse if you don't have the right hook to really bury it into those fish. So that is the other reason I highly recommend this jig head. As far as colors go, like I said, keep it simple. Trailers, I really only use 2, to be honest with you. The trailer that I use in the pre-spawn a lot of the time is just your standard Reaction Innovations Sweet Beaver. Great, great profile, big, meaty, good pre-spawn style trailer. So all I do is bite it down, come through, and rig it up just by threading it up on the hook, just like that. Pull that guy down. Always make sure you separate your pinchers on these guys. I forget to do that quite frequently, but just, you can see that's a big, big profile as far as a jig goes. Just a very subtle action to it, but gonna make a lot of disturbance in the water just because it's it's such a big presence. The other trailer that I use probably 70% of the time, whereas I use that one 30% of the time, is a Strike King Baby Rage Craw. This is just a phenomenal, phenomenal fish catcher. It puts off a lot of disturbance in the water from kicking, but it's not a super, super intimidating action. So what I like to do is bite down that first little section there, spit that guy out, and then just thread it on your hook like you normally would. And pop it out there, thread it on up. You got a very, very small profile jig that's awesome for catching smallmouth. Gets a ton of bites. Just awesome, awesome action on the back of a jig. But the other thing that I totally forgot to talk about is weights of your jigs. I only throw 2 weights in a football head. I throw a 1/2 ounce and I throw a 3/4 ounce. I think I can throw a 3/4 ounce in 25 to 30 foot, no problem. And I can throw a 1/2 ounce in 2 foot and 15 foot. So 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, that's really all you need as far as your weights go. So go pick out some of these heads. I will link them down below, like I said. And as far as rods go, this is something I keep super simple as well. I throw a 7'1" Mojo medium heavy. This is a fantastic rod. You guys know I love the Mojo stuff, and St. Croix just for that matter. As far as gear ratio goes on your reel, this is a Lose Tournament MP, great reel. I think it's like 150 bucks. Go and get you something in that higher gear ratio, that like mid 7 to high 7 gear ratio reel, because when you have that bait out there a good 50 or 60 feet, if not even further than that, you need to be able to reel down to that fish and catch up and put the pressure on them quickly. So as fast as you can pick up that line, the better. Now, I don't recommend getting an 8 or a 9 or something super crazy, because when you go to reel that bait, actually you could probably get away with an 8. Just stay lower than a 9, because you can reel that bait like to try to pick up your slack and be moving that bait with how much line it's picking up. So you want to be able to pick up enough line to catch up to that fish, but not too much to where you're hurting the action of your bait. So stay under your 8s and stay above your 7s, and you're probably going to be very well off. As far as line goes, if I am fishing fairly open water type stuff, a few brush piles here and there, I'll throw it on 16-pound test Sunline Sniper. If I'm strictly fishing nasty brush, all that kind of stuff, I'll bump it up to 20. I won't go any higher than 20, but that is really the 2 line sizes that I'll throw my football heads on. So that is really it. That's all I got for you guys. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe, tell your buddies about it. Like I said, I really like making this content. I like being able to get out here and talk fishing and with people that actually want to listen. So, like I said, do all that good stuff, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.